Hi, everyone. Thank you. Welcome to um, a special conversation. I'm not going to call it a Nabila show because I've not been here in a long while to share with you some of the some stories that are always happening behind the scenes. First of all, I need to run a qualified apology to many people. I remember some few weeks ago, I picked a ride, a Uber ride. In fact, not just one ride, as many as 3 or 4 separate Uber rides, and they asked me the question, "Oh, we don't see the Nabila show again. What happened? What happened? What happened?" I need to run a qualified apology. I wish I could be very consistent with these things, but unfortunately, due to some circumstances beyond my control, I've not been able to be very consistent. So first of all, let me just run a qualified apology for not being consistent with it. Hopefully, um, when when I am able to position myself in a way that other things around me would not affect my 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 content creation uh, for followers of this channel, I would gladly do that. But I'm here today to talk briefly on many things that have been happening within the football space for a long while, and I hope to do this brief. So first, I want to talk about the GFA elections, which is supposed to happen on September 27, but it is quite unclear if that is going to happen because Kim Faisal decided to drag the Ghana Football Association to an Accra High Court, asking them to um, realign their timeline because never in the history of Ghanaian football or Ghanaian football politics have we had the elections of the executive and executive council members and that of the president before the district and regional football association. So they feel the elections committee, their processes are flawed, and they want the Accra High Court to call the GFA to order to be able to do the right things. And they appeared before the court first. It was on August 30, if my memory serves me right. They were again on September 6 and on September 19, they are expected to make a return to the court. First, let's understand that it is an application for injunction, so no injunction has been placed on the election yet. It is an application. The court hasn't granted it yet, so the court can decide to grant it or throw it away. But the GFA, they have also decided to put on hold their timelines for the elections. However, in order not to be behind schedule, they've decided that they would communicate to members who are interested in occupying various positions within the Ghana Football Association. And they've written to them, those who have qualified to have their names on the ballot papers for the elections, and those who are not qualified. The topmost of them is a presidential post, which George Afriyie, a 2019 presidential aspirant and a former vice president of the GFA, wanted to occupy. And he filed his nomination forms all right, but he was told that he's been disqualified because he didn't meet certain criteria that the committee was expecting of candidates who wants to be president of the Ghana Football Association. So they have disqualified him from the race. Many of you who are readers of my Joy Online would have seen that on Saturday, which was September 9th, I published a story on the website saying that he has filed an appeal, and I was also privy to some of the exchanges that ensued between George Afriyie's camp and that of the Ghana Football Association. So I was able to put together quite a detailed write-up on my joyonline.com. So you can go there and read that story, and you will have a better understanding of some of the things. But there are certain things I didn't put there. That's why I'm here, and I want to share them with you. So when George Afriyie filed his nomination form last month, and appeared before the vetting committee, which is also the elections committee, he was told that there are 4 petitions against him. One of them was about some monies he paid to a club in Sunyani to renovate the Coronation Park. Another was about a text message he sent to Kwesi Ntechi some many years ago. And the other was about Victory Warriors FC East Director Jeffrey Asari, the man who signed the document endorsing him to contest for the position of president of the FA. So it was a petition that was actually filed because, and in fact, conspiracy theories say that someone within the FA petitioned the elections committee because it is only people within the FA who know the signatories of the members of the FA. So they are saying that if you were not within the FA, it wouldn't have been possible for someone outside to know that Jeffrey Asari, who signed the document endorsing George Afriyie, is not a signatory of Victory Warriors FC. But let's just give a brief background story. So what actually transpired was that when George Afriyie was seeking for endorsements to contest for the position of president, after his clubs, SUBB, nominated him, he was struggling to get clubs to endorse him. So he placed a call to Kuku Battles, who is a shareholder, the sole shareholder of Victory Warriors FC. And told him that, oh, he wants an endorsement. So Kuku was like, okay, I'm not in Ghana, I am in Germany. So let Jeffrey Asari endorse the form for you. So Jeffrey signed on behalf of Victory Warriors FC. He's not a signatory to the club. But I'm not too sure if George Afriyie knew this or he knew it was going to be an issue at the vetting. So then they go there. He's told of this petition. And he tells them that, okay, if Jeffrey Asari signing my form invalidates it, okay, I have gone beyond the number 5 required by the elections committee, and I have an affidavit by one of the clubs. So if Victory Warriors endorsement is invalidated, just move up one of the clubs to fit that position. Well, the FA elections committee, we understand, rejected that because if you take a look at the nomination form for the presidential candidate, there are five columns for the president. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you choose the first 5 people, they say they are dealing with only the 5 people. But George Afriyie was like, okay, wait a minute. In 2019, I contested for this very position. I had more than 20 clubs endorsing me. So if in 2019 it was acceptable for me to be able to have clubs where affidavits in support of my candidature, why is this one different? Well, the claims are that they couldn't provide any plausible explanation as to what transpired or as to why. So, well, in the end, he left the committee feeling that it was not going to be an issue and all that. But in the end, he was disqualified from contesting for the position of president of the Ghana Football Association. So he decided to file an appeal. That appeal was filed on a notice of appeal, and appeal were filed on Friday, September 8th. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. And I published it on my Joy Online. But on Monday, September 11, which was the deadline that was given to him by the elections committee for him to file the appeal, he went there with the hard copies of the appeal he was filing, and then there were loads of drama. So let me just give you some of the content of the appeal. He wrote to the Ghana Football Association Elections Committee to give him the raw conversation of his vetting, the raw vetting. And they wrote back to him and told him that just like FIFA disciplinary committee hearings, CAS hearings, and all that, the vetting or the discussions or the conversations are not shared to parties or to the public. And what he can only get is that if he decides to appeal and there is an issue of fact, the committee would make available the portion that he wants. But if he wants the whole vetting, they will not give it to him. They were very clear. But they also added, it is not a matter of law. It's a matter of fact. So bear that in mind. Don't go there and begin arguing about law. It's about fact. If you come and you say that 1 plus 1, we told you it was 2. But you said it was 1.5 and we have disagreement, fine. They can bring that. But if you come and have to do with interpreting the law, that one there, it is not part before the appeals committee. So that was what he was told. So he filed the appeal and he said, 1, the composition of the elections committee is contrary to Article 54 of the GFA statutes because they're supposed to be 5. And that a member of the committee is supposed to serve as a secretary. But in this case, the FA has a new legal person. She's called Madam Mariam. And she served as a secretary. She's a lawyer. And this they say is contrary to the statutes. However, other people also say that the committee can decide to bring in someone to come and be our secretary. So it doesn't necessarily matter whether we are supposed to be 5 or we're supposed to be 6 or to be 15. The committee has a discretion and they exercise that discretion. So it is one of the things he raised in his appeal. From where I sit, if it is an afterthought, I would, this is a personal opinion, I would disagree. Because if you go before the committee and you feel that, no, wait, you're supposed to be 5, but you're 6, raise it there. If you don't raise it there and you come out, trust me, it's clear an afterthought. And CAS even used it against Professor Kwekopama when he went to CAS. Because the normalization committee asked him questions, whether he had issues with the composition of the committee and all that, but he said he didn't have issues. But now, after afterthought, you are not raising it. From where I sit. But other people would have a different opinion on what it's supposed to do. It's an afterthought doesn't mean that I cannot raise it. So other people will hold that position. So yeah, he raised it. He also said there was a breach of natural justice and fair hearing because per Article 8, which talks about submission and examination of forms, Clause 3, the elections committee were supposed to notify him of any issues in relation to his documents, if they found any within 2 days of filing his candidature, but they never got back to him on anything like that. And he feels that, no, this is quite unfair. So when he went to the FA on Monday, September 11, to file his appeal, and first, the security men didn't want to grant him access. He finally had access. The receptionist was reluctant to receive the form. So, but in the end, one of the girls at the FA, Carol, she's a senior staff of the FA, she came and took the form, and it was finally submitted. The appeal committee will give a feedback within 48 hours upon receipt of the appeal, and I will know what is likely to happen, because George Afriyie feels he's done nothing wrong, and he insists that if Victory Warriors' endorsement is invalidated, he had a supportive affidavit which was supposed to be supported. And in fact, if you read Article 8.3 of the elections guideline, which talks about candidates being notified of their candidature if there are any errors to the forms, well, you're supposed to notify them. It says relevant documents. So I'm not a legal person, but basically that is it. There are many things that I think that maybe as and when I remember, I will be here to share with you. I'll try to see if I can be consistent, but I've not been so consistent in recent times when it comes to these things. So hopefully I'll try and share some of the things that are happening behind the scenes. Just like I mentioned about the emails between George Afriyie and the GFA elections committee and all that, and some of the content that are being shared. People also talk about endorsements. Trust me, on the form, only 5 people can endorse a candidate. Only 5. You can have supporting endorsements, but 5 people. One will nominate and 5 will endorse. So the form 1, 2, 3, 4. So when those 5 people sign, the rest of you, you are only endorsing him by word of mouth. Nothing more. So you can have even 100 endorsements, but it changes nothing on what is on the document because only 5 people can sign. And if they get in there, they feel that, oh, 5 people signed. So, yeah, that is basically it. Mr. Abdullah here with some nuggets of what is happening within the football politics. I'm sure there are many things that I've forgotten because many things have sat on for a very, very long time. As I sign out, let me say, I have a vision, I have a dream. And maybe some people will understand, maybe others won't. But I have a vision, I have a dream. The vision is that when I grow up, I want to be GFA president. I want to become GFA president. By that time, I'm sure CAF will pay me or the GFA president more than $25,000. And my salary at the Ghana Football Association would be more than 12,000 Ghana cedis. If you understand it, code it and decode it well. Thank you very much for your time.